That is right. It is time to start coming to me if you want to know who's going to win at these Misfits events. I shockingly did predict every single fight on this card correct. I put out my predictions video for Misfits 11 the day before the card, and I was surprised myself because for the Prime card, my predictions were just okay. So this is a nice way to bounce back. I was almost able to predict the exact round for every fight. I got most of them, but in terms of who was the winner, I got all of those ones. But we're going to get into this whole card, talk about its highs and even its lows. I had a lot of fun with this one. We're going to go ahead and go through these prelims pretty quickly and then get into the main card. Let's talk about Adam Brooks versus Rhino. Before I talk about the details of the fight, what was up with putting all these old men on the prelims? We had two guys in their 50s competing here, and both of them got finished pretty early. Maybe let's just lower the age a little bit. 40s maybe. I'd like to see high 30s. But for the fight specifically, Rhino was having some success. He was landing some big shots. He was putting on the pressure and had more volume, but you can tell the shots that Adam Brooks was landing were hurting him. So when it came to round 2 and Adam Brooks started to catch him, I wasn't too surprised. Rhino wasn't taking the shots very well, which makes sense, and he was finished by a round 2 knockout stoppage, which was my exact prediction. I had a round 2 knockout / stoppage. But let's move on to the next fight with another 50-year-old man, Simple Simon versus Dapper Laughs. And I think this one went just about how everyone expected it to. Simple Simon can't box really almost at all. Dapper Laughs didn't look spectacular, but he was throwing together some decent combinations and at least had some sting to his punches. The thing about Simple Simon is he's so tense, bro. He goes in there and his guard's almost like this, and then he paws out his punches like that. It's all his elbow. They just snap down. It's not great to see. It's like he's flexing everything in his body. So, to no one's surprise, Dapper Laughs gets a first round finish. I think it's time to hang him up for Simple Simon. My prediction was round 2 stoppage for Dapper Laughs, so I missed this one off by 1 round. But let's go ahead and talk about a fight with a little more talent, a little more youth, and that is Uncle Pizza versus Yuddy Gang 2. This fight went almost as I expected. I had Yuddy Gang by a decision. I thought he might have been able to get a knockdown in there at some point. That didn't happen, but this was a very competitive fight. I thought Yuddy Gang was clearly winning the rounds, but Uncle Pizza did a good job of staying in there, keeping it competitive. I think both guys are very talented. Yuddy Gang definitely has been improving, especially since his first fight with Uncle Pizza. And he goes out and he calls out Dean the Great in his post-fight interview. That is a fight I would love to see because I think it's a lot closer than some might think. So this was a nice way to start off the main card. A lot of skill here. 2 of the more skilled guys on the roster. Pretty enjoyable fight. And then we had an interesting one. It didn't go how I thought it would. Arms versus Minicon 2. I predicted a round 1 knockout for Arms. I thought that Arms had improved enough and was explosive enough to go out there and finish him in the first round. I did think it was going to lean more towards Minicon the longer the fight went on, and that is pretty much what happened. Arms gassed out bad. And so did Minicon as well. Not to the same extent, but if he did have better cardio, he probably could have put Arms away. Because Arms came out round 1 and he was looking sharp. You can tell he fights out of the same gym as KSI. Very similar style, at least during some points of the fight. And round 1 was completely dominated. He had a knockdown, a pretty clean one. He looked like he was going to dominate this fight if he had the cardio. Round 2, a little more the same thing. Still clearly towards Arms' favor. And then things started to turn around. Minicon starts to land in round 3. Arm starts gassing out. Both guys pretty much gassed out. But towards the end of this fight, I genuinely thought there was a chance that Arms was just going to pass out standing up. Because it looked like while he was standing, he was like fading in and out. It was pretty weird to see. I've never seen anything like it. I was almost expecting him to just fall over mid-fight without being hit, which isn't good. It was not a great thing to see, and it was not very safe. I just don't know if his body type is built for boxing, because I know he trains hard and he's been in the gym, not just lifting, but boxing. And I thought we were going to see improvement in the cardio, but I don't know if we're going to get that. And it's just not great to see. It was pretty concerning, but in the end, because of the knockdown and round 2, Arms got the decision victory. Pretty similar to our first fight, but hopefully Arms is all good. He had a lot of heart just to get through that fight, so I respect it. Let's move on to another fight. Gabriel Silva versus OJ Rose. I had Gabriel Silva by decision, which was the result. I knew OJ Rose was going to go in there to fight. He was going in there to win this thing. I liked his strategy. He tried to get on the inside, make this thing ugly, and he had success throughout this fight. But the right decision was made. Gabriel Silva had the better combinations. He was landing cleaner. OJ Rose did a good job of closing the distance, but Gabriel Silva did a lot better on the inside than I even expected him to. You can tell the experience that he has in there over OJ Rose. I was honestly impressed with both guys. Looks like Gabriel Silva is going up against Anthony Taylor next. I'm pretty interested to see what that one's going to be like. Everybody knows what Anthony Taylor's strategy is going to be. The hug machine. He's going to have a similar style to OJ Rose, just way more annoying, pretty much. So that is a fight I'm looking forward to. And then we had our co-main event. Julie Polka versus Elena Vampira. I had Julie Polka winning this one by decision. That was the result. And one thing I just realized, this card had a lot of people who were just showing their insane toughness. And you have to mention that here for Elena Vampira. She was eating some heavy shots and she never gave up. She kept moving forward, putting on the pressure. Julie Polka had the experience. She also had the power. You could tell Elena Vampira was feeling those shots, but she landed some nice ones of her own. She kept it competitive. She hung in there. I have a lot of respect for her because a ton of people would have given up in her position, but she went until the final bell, always moving forward, trying to win this fight, and I got a lot of respect for that. Julie Polka may be the number 1 pound-for-pound female influencer boxer. She has been staying active. She's getting win after win, and she's only improving. I'd love to see what's next for her. I hope to see both of them back on Misfits because they're only gonna get better. And then let's get into this main event, Jarvis versus B-Dave. And in my predictions video, I didn't give B-Dave much of a chance. I didn't really think he was anywhere near the same level as Jarvis. And I didn't think this fight would be competitive. I picked Jarvis by a round 2 knockout. And in the beginning of this fight, I was pretty confident in that prediction. I thought it was about to come true, but I will say B-Dave showed a ton of heart, a ton of toughness, and he hung in there a lot longer than I thought he would, and he landed some nice shots of his own. Was this fight very competitive? No, not really. Pretty much every round went to Jarvis. B-Dave had his moments. The commentators were trying to hype up those moments, but I think every round might have went to Jarvis. But I'm telling you, Jarvis is going to be a huge problem in this scene because he is one of the younger guys right now in the entire scene. And to see how skilled he is, how technical, how durable he is, it's pretty impressive. And as he progresses over this next year, 2 years, I think he's going to get a lot better. And I think he's going to give a lot of the top guys in the scene a run for their money. Misfits sees that potential as well. They want to build him up, and I totally see why. I was very impressed with Jarvis, and I was impressed with the toughness of B. Dave. A dominant victory for Jarvis, and I'm excited to see who's next for him. He called out Nick Lamau and Alex Wasabi. I'd love to see either of those fights. So in total, going back to my predictions, of the 7 fights I predicted, I was right for picking the winner, 7 of 7. An exact prediction, picking which round or picking winner by decision, I was 5 of 7. So I'll take it. It's a nice bounce back. You may have noticed that I left out a prelim fight. That is because I didn't know it was happening and I didn't put it in my predictions video. So I'm just going to pretend that that doesn't exist. Thank you. Overall, I thought this card was a lot of fun. For one of the non-pay-per-view events, I thought it was one of the better ones, and I'm looking forward to next year, Misfits Boxing. It's going to be a lot of fun. What did you guys think of the event? What was your favorite fight? Let me know. Subscribe for more boxing content and updates. The support is much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Peace.